Are we there? Is it 10? It's 10 o'clock. Oh my goodness. All right, just getting settled in the old chair here. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. A little bit of a whirlwind right there. So here we are. Here we are. It is Tuesday, the 8th of July. And it was a crazy, wild, windy, and I'm just checking. Lights on, microphone on. I'm facing the front. We're all good. We're here. Okay. It was a crazy, windy, blustery, odd, humid day yesterday, and close nearby us, like, I don't know, 50 miles away, there were tornado warnings, and it was just crazy, weird weather. And anyway, today, it's Mother Nature said, sorry about that. I'm all better now. Jeez. Blue skies. Barfy burgers, girls. Crazy. Anyway, I'm a bit fired up, wired up, because I've got a couple of incredibly exciting things that are just all of a sudden going boom, and it's very, very wonderful. And I can't wait to share, and it won't be long. Meanwhile, back at the rancho, I want to talk to you about something today that it's hitting a lot of people in a really big way. Hang on a second. Cheers, by the way. Cheers. Morning beverage. Well, Daniel, good morning. Have you seen the pictures? I forget. I'm so sorry, Daniel. I keep forgetting to tag you. I posted on Facebook this morning one of the pictures from our invasion of your booth at Montreal Comic Con. I will have to go back and tag you. Sorry. A few years ago, I had an opportunity. Picture this. As a former mom of a television series called You Can't Live on Television, while I was at a con event in Ottawa, I met somebody from the state of New York who was a huge fan of the show, and it was going to be their wedding in a couple of months. And would I meet their bride, his bride, at Montreal Comic Con? And I said, yeah. So then when he finally contacted me, I had like 6 days in between the hello to him, to Stephen, and then the day. All the pieces of the universe fell into place, right, Daniel? All the pieces fell into place. And without any prior knowledge of any of it, I ended up officiating at a Klingon wedding ceremony at Montreal Comic Con in the Klingon booth. These two lovely people from the state of New York, and they got escorted through the con by the 501 Legion. And droids from the Doctor Who booth, and the Vikings down the way, and the Dark Empire, and the Klingons were all in attendance. And we caused Montreal Comic Con the utmost darned astonishment. And I have the pictures to prove it. Right, Daniel? And so it was just one of those amazing days. And I chose that picture because the theme today is so important. And I have probably 50% by accident and 50% by design. I have lived my whole life dancing between this subject today. And the subject is, do we choose what if and see what's out there? Or do we live in regret with if only? Every day we get to choose. Every single day. Sometimes in the middle of the night. Who knows? But the point is this. When you look back, because I was, I look at Facebook memories, and if I find a picture that I really love, then I repost it, of course. But I was looking back the other day, and there was a post from the 7th of July, 2020. And it was that moment. I made that post knowing that I was choosing a what if, that I was saying thank you, but no, to the very present, very, very much easier path that would have left me with if only. I looked at that path really hard, And because it would have been easy, it would have been so easy. And I thought, no, I've gone through a lot. I have earned this what if. And I grabbed it by the throat. I seized that day by the throat and lugged it with me. And the result is I'm here. I am here in this really sweet space. Mom and the Care Bears are with me. My shoes are with me. And everything I have wanted to do for such a long time is gradually falling into place. Little Tetris bricks and blocks, and just all the domino dots, they're all coming together, because this is where this was the move. This move, of all the thousands of moves that I've made, this was the move I waited my whole life for. And I felt it when the opportunity came. I felt it so deeply, and I got here and I said, this is it. This is where they've all culminated in this. And this is the space where I am launching. Good morning, Freddie. So nice to see you. This is the space where I'm launching the most important fresh chapter of everything, every single thing you ever loved about the characters I played on You Can't Do That on Television. Every single thing you loved about the Care Bears, about For Better or For Worse, about Teddy Ruxpin, every single thing you've ever loved about my videos, or the things you see on Facebook, or the live stage shows, if you ever got to see them, or any events that I did, every single tiny ingredient in those moments is this recipe right now. And 7 years ago, I called it Pivotry in Motion. A pivot, a physical pivot, is a hard turn. It's not a gradual learning curve. It's a or a it's massive. But we can't make that turn until we turn here. Because the turning here, that decision, it's back of brain, emotional, knee-jerk, primitive lizard cave brain, plus thinking brain. They come into alignment. It seldom happens, but they come into alignment, and we find ourselves having said for days and weeks and months and years, it's not that bad. Well, it's a little bit, it's not that bad. And all of a sudden, Pivotry, Zappo, and the little voice in our head says, it's not good enough. It is that bad. I have earned more. I'm ready. And once our brain shifts like that, and we make that inside turn, it is now a different angle. It's 1 degree from here to there. And looking through that perspective is every possibility. Staying where we are is very tempting. But I'll tell you something that doesn't hit us right away, even if we know it, even if we say, oh, I know, I really should, blah, 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 blah. Okay, here's what happens. Change happens all the time. All the time. Everything's always changing. If we don't, so let's say let's just say that change is going like this. Boop, 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 right? Just little incremental changes, constant, because change is constant. If we don't change, and we're here, boop, 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 and we do nothing, reality and opportunity and everybody and everything is here, and we are left behind. We are left in the land of if only. Can we catch up? Absolutely. Have I said, hang on a minute? Yes, several times. It's never too late to say, wait a minute, because this is the other thing that I know. It's not, oh, I believe, and if only you that. No, no, no. I'm poster child right here. I know that if I acquire the readiness, the moment I am ready is the moment I am supposed to begin. That change happened and I didn't choose it. Doesn't matter. When I choose it is when I was meant to. My path starts when I choose it. And the reason I know this is that if it happens, it's real. If it doesn't, it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't real. What we choose is our moment, is our reality, right? So I want to tell you a couple of stories. First of all, this is the Comic-Con thing. I could have said, because he contacted me on, excuse me, he contacted me on the, I think it was the 29th of June. And he said, I know it's really last minute, but we're getting married. And we're going to be at Montreal Comic-Con on the 6th. This was years back. Can you come? So the 30th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had 6 days. I had 6 days from a standing start. I could have said, oh gosh, I would have loved to come, but it's such short notice. Yeah, no. What I did was I went on Facebook and I said, hey, mom's going to blah, blah, blah. And 3 people on Facebook said, hey, I know these people and these people and these people. You need to go to their booth. And one guy reached out, why are you going? It's Chris LeBlanc. our radio DJ extraordinaire, Chris LeBlanc, said, why are you going? And I told him. And he said, I know a guy. And I said, do you really? He said, yeah, I know a guy. I know the Klingons. I know everybody. You want me to introduce you? Yes. He introduced me to the Klingons, to Alain and Daniel. And the next thing I know, Alain and Daniel introduced me to the 501 guy, Simon. And then they introduced me. And I said, we got to do this. I was able to get in touch with, you're not going to believe this. I was able to get in touch with the producer and 2 crew from You Can't Do That on Television. And they came in order to shoot footage of the wedding. And then I called a videographer, a friend of mine, who said, I don't care what you're doing. The answer is no. My bride and I are going to have a sort of a close by staycation. I'm not saying yes to anything. I said, oh, of course. Wonderful. Where are you going? And he said, we're going to Montreal. And I said, if you bring your video equipment in the trunk of your car, I'll buy your dinner. So they did. So what you're seeing, if you're on Facebook, what you're seeing in that picture, that's my videographer. He and his bride, both photographers, they came with their equipment during their staycation. And as a result of that, Stephen and his bride have a forever marriage memory at which they were wedded in Klingon tradition. Think about this. Think about this as a complete non sequitur. They were wedded in an official Klingon wedding ceremony by Mom from You Can't Do That on Television. Captured by the producer and crew of You Can't Do That on Television. Only Stephen's most favorite show ever, still rabid fan, came to see me at Ottawa Comic-Con. She wore a dress printed with the TARDIS booth from Doctor Who, and the TARDIS booth was 3 feet away from her in the Doctor Who booth at the wedding. This is what happens if we say, what if? This is what happens. We have to say, my comfort zone is getting a little uncomfortable. It's shrinking. It's not good enough anymore. I'm ready to see what's on the outside. What's the worst that can happen? I can come back to the comfort zone. It's going to be there. Nobody's moving in. But we can try. We can taste it. Think of it as a Costco experience. I think I'll try one of those. And I'll buy a package enough for 17 years for a family of 12. So that first story is almost pretty much the ultimate story of what's the difference between what if and if only. It's pretty much that. Because do you think that for Stephen and his bride, do you think that there would be another chance for that to happen? You really think that would happen? I possibly, but it orchestrated itself when I just went boop, and that one little pebble, it built itself. Why? Because that wedding experience with me there was theirs to own, waiting for them. And I want you to, those of you who are watching who are either far away or here in Ottawa, I want you to visualize something. Do you know how many things like that I create, I pull off randomly, frequently? If you had an opportunity and you said, oh, I don't even know how we would do that, do you realize that you could ask me? Do you realize that I can create something that magnificent? It's what I call a now what strategy. And my little consulting business, when I had to leave Ottawa because there was just no work, and move to get some distance, move to breathe different air. Sometimes we have to do that. I started a little consulting business called Now What Strategies, and I helped people rebrand their businesses. I helped people launch their businesses. I helped people get in and out of really tricky situations. I helped Stephen and his bride have the wedding ceremony of their lives. All of that stuff. Remember the time that Billy said, we need to get you in Ottawa for Pride. And I said, why? And he said, well, this is the year. I forget which year it was. It might have been 2019. Might have been. It was the anniversary. Oh yeah, it would have been. It's the anniversary of You Can't Do It on Television. So Pride Week in Ottawa, he got me a booking to do some stand-up comedy in front of the whole street blocked off in the center of Ottawa. And so there's several pubs and they had a stage. And so he got me the booking to do some comedy. And so he said, but this is what I really want you to do. Because there's all the little restaurants. It's kind of an older street, beautiful, old vintage houses that have been turned into pubs and patios and whatnot. He said, I want you to I have this huge collection of mom gloves that I take to all the live events, and I'll sign one and, souvenir. He said, I want you to bring the mom gloves. And I said, why? And he said, because it's the anniversary. And I think you should lead everybody on the whole street singing happy birthday to You Can't Do That on Television and to Mom. And we'll give everybody a yellow rubber glove. So we did. I don't know how many we gave away, but there's all these people on both sides of me and then all across the street. And they're all sitting out in the patio and they've all got one yellow rubber glove. If they wanted the matching glove to do the dishes, that was extra, but I would give them. We had volunteers running around handing out the glove. How did that happen? That was just one of those. I know somebody who'll get you a hotel room. You need to come for a couple of days. We need to do this and this and this, and it'll be magical. I even decorated. It was so funny. The pub that was basically my host, they had all these balloons, didn't know how to put them up. I used to do balloon deliveries. So I was in there first thing earlier in the morning, helping them tie and string together and wind them and put them outside. Billy shows up and he says, what are you doing? And I said, I'll be ready in a minute. He said, you're not supposed to do that. The pub owner is going, can't believe, oh my God. And then we did the comedy. And then and then I was going to be in the parade, and I didn't have a way to be in the parade. And the local radio station said, "Come with me. We're driving the van with the logo on it. Sit in the passenger seat and wave." So I got a picture of me because I said, "What if?" That was the answer. Was it crazy? Yeah. Did I know what would happen? No. Was it incredible? Absolutely. Absolutely. Did I make incredible friends that day? Brilliant friends. Did they then come with us to the first Fanaticon event and cram 6 people into a booth too small for everything? Yes. Was it magical? Yes. Would I do it again? I've been doing it again every year. Which brings me to the conversation that you and I need to have. Now, this is what I want to talk to you about. A really lovely guy named Ryan Lithell, who was a real feature in Ottawa his whole life, born with a disorder that left him wheelchair bound, ventilator his whole life. They never thought he would make it past the first few days. They never thought he would ever live outside CHEO, Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario. And he defied the odds. When he was 19, imagine living in a hospital until you're 19. When he was 19, he got the go-ahead, the approval, medical and city, to live in a special subsidized housing with a caregiver, personal service worker, because ventilator, he couldn't be alone at night, and just regular routine stuff. The extraordinary thing about Ryan, very smart, very quick, very funny, very witty, crazy craving for nostalgia stuff, vintage stuff, high-tech stuff, robots and fantasy and just stuff. And popular all through the city. Everybody saw him. He went to the concerts, he went to the live events, he went to all the places. And at the same time, he actively advocated for accessibility to these live events, accessibility to concerts, accessibility to outside fairs and festivals, accessibility to sidewalks and buildings, accessibility to orchestras and symphonies and theater and the arts and auditing courses in college. He advocated like Attila the Hun, and he had a column in a magazine and also an active regular Centertown newspaper. And every time his column was there, he was then on social media. He wanted people to understand, to see people like him, and not to say, "Oh, the poor guy." No, to see him as just like them, with a few add-ons on the side. You know, when you go to a buffet and you put different stuff on your plate. Okay, he had different stuff on his plate. That's the difference. And when he came to Fanaticon that first time, and we met, and then he came back and was always there, I just thought he was amazing. And Lance Morin, who runs Fanaticon, felt the same way. Everybody just loved him. Anyway, we lost him this year at the age of 50. And it wasn't a sudden, "Oh my God, what happened?" But you can only have a ventilator for so long, and gradually things start to not function. And what happened was that his lungs gave out. And there was a celebration of his life, and I got to meet his sister and all the people, his friends who turned out. And then I was thinking about the Fanaticon that's happening in Ottawa on the 20th of July. So not this Sunday, but next Sunday, right? Not this Sunday, but yeah, oh my gosh, not this Sunday, but. And so it's off the Vanier Parkway, off the Queensway in Ottawa, at the Marriott Convention Center, Sunday from 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. I have had a booth there. This will be my 6th year. along with the other places that Lance has sent me off to be at. But this year, I decided it was essential. This is the year to celebrate the essence, the unforgettable essence, the unforgettable what if of Ryan Lithell. So I'm going to publish a book. How am I going to do that? Am I going to tell stories? No, I'm not going to tell stories. Every single person who comes to the booth, every person, and I think you've seen lots of pictures that I posted, the crazy things that happen at my booth. I'm not this polite celebrity that sits behind a table and says, "With love, Abby Mom." I don't got a table. I've got an open booth. I've got feather boas. I've got a banner of You Can't Do That on Television. I've got a banner of the Care Bears. I've got mirrors that we can fluff and zhuzh when we put our feather boas on. I've got 3 professional photographers, paparazzi. I have lots of souvenir cool stuff from the shows and my books because I'm a publisher. And it's a free-for-all. It's a reunion every year. People come in and what have you got this time? Oh my God, I have to have that. Can I have that? Can I have that? Ring me up. This year, the entire day, in addition, is a book shoot. We're registering you. We're asking you to give us your definition of what is unforgettable. We're going to put your definition, what is unforgettable, with your name underneath it. Our photographer is going to take your picture. It's going to be like a yearbook, only better. Picture a book, almost 8.5 by 11. It's actually 7.5 by 9.5, so almost, right? 5 pictures on the page. The middle picture is going to be a celebrity. On the top left, it's you, fan. On the top right, cosplayers and artists. On the bottom right, the gamers and the traders and just everybody who's creative. And the bottom left is the people who make the event happen, the vendors, the organizers, the sponsors. 80-page book. That means I have room for 400 of you. 400. And I'm only asking people to pre-order their copy of the book. We're going to do the official book launch in November. So I can pre-order the book. If I can pre-order the book at author prices, then you guys get this book that's going to cost the public $60 on Amazon. You're going to get your books for $20 with my, right? And so what we have here is an opportunity to communicate. What we have here is an opportunity to expand that. I said this morning when I was getting ready for this video, what if I tell everybody watching these videos, you can email me your picture. You can message me your picture. You can give me your definition of unforgettable. You can give me your address. When we do the launch, you will send me the $20. In the States, given the exchange rate, it's probably $8.50. I don't know what it is now. Dollar's crazy. You can participate long distance with me if you can't physically be here. Yes, and celebrate You Can't Do It on Television. Celebrate everything that you love about being part of my unforgettable journey. I want you in my book. So what I'm going to do is you can go to what is the page? You can go to abbyhagyard.com. I think that's what it is. I'll look it up and I'll message anybody who's interested. So anybody watching, if you're interested, go on Messenger and say, tell me more. And I will give you the website link because I just built it the other day. Actually, yesterday. I just built it yesterday. So that, oh, you know what it is? It's, you go to abbyhagyard.com. Okay? abbyhagyard.com. And when you look at the header, so the header has a whole bunch of things, right? And you look for the heading that says this just in. Okay? This Just In is the page you click on, and the page tells you all about the book, and the PayPal purchase is right there. $20 Canadian. It's right there. So you can pre-order the book, register there, and we can get it started so I know how many I have, and we can get this thing moving. You can pick your picture, all right? And you can tell me whether you're a fan or a cosplayer, whatever it is, and we can get you in on this book. All right? I think this is so exciting. And Ryan's sister, Ryan's mom, will be so proud, will be so honored, will be so overwhelmed by the gesture from all my people everywhere to be part of this. So the day is the 20th of July, 2 weeks, not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday is the day I do it. And sooner rather than later, doesn't have to be for the 20th, but it wouldn't hurt. I need to know how many are going in the book because I have to build the book. I'm the publisher. I'm creating the layout. I'm putting everything in. And I want to do it alphabetically. So the sooner you can go to abbyhagyard.com, this Just In, and click the PayPal button because it asks for your name and blah, 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 right? I'll get the information. I'll get back to you. You can message me. You can send me the picture and we'll add you to the roster. Okay? It's going to be magnificent. And then I'll talk to Billy. I'll talk to all my tech guys. I haven't even figured out the location for the launch. It's going to be the weekend of the 16th of November, though. And we will figure out where it is so that we can have a massive party, a massive remembrance party for everything unforgettable, including Ryan Lethal. And that includes You Can't Do It on Television. And I'm going to talk to Jim Clark about getting the lockers for that event. Okay? If I can get the lockers, then you guys who can figure out a way to come, you'll get your unforgettable live at the launch picture in the lockers. How's that? I'm going to make that happen. So back to the point. The point today is this. Every single day, we have the opportunity, every morning, every night, to say, what if, and give ourselves permission to be ready, or decide to sit back and see what the weather's like tomorrow, or get busy with whatever, and then look back and say, if only. But even if you say if only today, even if you say it tomorrow, we live now. We live now. By the time we get to the end of today and we go to bed and we wake up the next day, it's now. We can do it. We have to want it. We have to know that that is what is missing in our lives. So if you can't physically make it to FanaticCon, you can be there with me vicariously, virtually. You know what I'm going to try and do? You know what I'm going to try and do? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a board and I'm going to print the names of everybody who have signed up and ordered and said, I'm sending my picture. So on the 20th of July at my booth, along with everything else, I will find space for a sign that has the names of people who are across the US and around the world choosing to be in the book. The way we are together right now. How's that? Is that a plan? Oh my gosh, I love that. I'll get it printed nice and big. So, and I'll have our photographers and our video people zooming in. And Billy's going to stream live from the event, so he can stream live and you'll see your names. Okay. And it's going to be $20. You'll go to abbyhagyard.com. This just in is the page. Click, order the book, $20 Canadian. And then we on Messenger will do the conversation. Send me the picture. What is unforgettable? That'll be your quote. And you'll be in the book. All right? This is a what if moment. This is a what if moment in the middle of the what if episode 373. 373 of these episodes. And by the way, did you notice something? No, I'm not going to say anything till the end. But did you notice something at the beginning? So, second story that I want to tell you. I had an opportunity while I was standing at some event outside with Les Lai, and I forget what we were doing. And there was one of these local newspapers that had little classifieds in it, way back in the day when local newspapers did that. And there was a hobby farm for sale. And I said, does this look right? The price looks really low. Where is it? And he looked at it. He said, snap that up. That's a steal. And I said, it looks like it, doesn't it? And it was outside of Ottawa, but not that far. And I lost my mom. And so I had a small inheritance. And so I got in the car one day and I drove down to look at it. And it was a 150-year-old hobby farm, 11 acres, just south of a small town south of Ottawa. And I thought, I can do this. How hard could it be to own a hobby farm? Okay, harder than I thought, and so I did. I bought a hobby farm. I post pictures periodically of me riding a tractor in the front of my hobby farm. Now, I said, what if? And I lived there for 6 years. And I had the most extraordinary life adventures there. And when I left that space, the people I had met while I was in that space joined me on the next journey after that, and have remained friends of mine to this day. In fact, Sunday, this being Tuesday, Sunday, Gary's the producer of my stuff. Gary and I drove down out there into the country to the pub where I used to hang out all the time because it was very close to the farm. And we walked in and the owner was there and he said, hey, Ab. And I said, hello, George. Big hug. George, this is my producer, Gary. Got some shows coming. And he said, good to meet you, Gary. And he said, how long have you known Abby? Are you braced for impact? Gary said, I was 10 years in the military. I think I can handle it, sir. And George said, just. We sat there at this pub on the river. We had amazing food. We talked to the people at the bar. We had a great time. We came back, and all the time we were talking about the projects that we're working on. The thing is, I would never have heard of that spot if I hadn't, on that outside day with Les Lai, said, what do you think of that ad for a farm? Does that make sense to you? And he said, what if? Why not? Have a look. That's a while ago. And I was there on Sunday. And all the new memories that happened on Sunday are part now woven into the old memories. Because I said, what if? I didn't end up driving by that place one day saying, oh, that looks like a nice spot. Huh. I have to go there sometime. I didn't do that. I jumped in. And you know, Freddie, this is the absolute moment to bring you into this conversation and elevate you. So our great good friend, Freddie Moore, who is the loyal listener, audience, participant, fan, one of the people interviewed for the Pivotry books. Freddie did an extraordinary thing one time. He realized that there was going to be a slime convention, a reunion convention for You Can't Do It on Television. Freddie lives in the States. Freddie said, I'm going to go to that. And he bought a bus ticket. And he grabbed a little bit of money and he got on a bus. And he came to Canada. He came to Ottawa. Didn't know anything about Ottawa, didn't know anybody in Ottawa, found a place to stay, attended the reunion, ran out of money, called his mom. She sent him money. He got to be there, see the people, talk to the people that he had watched on television. And when it was over, he got on the bus and he went home. And when we connected through social media and we started talking and having conversations, and I heard his story and his friend Chris Churchill's story, and I said, we need to include you guys in the book. Freddie and Chris grew up in school together and had some issues. And I said, I want to talk about that in the book. So we've had those conversations. And Freddie is following these videos and commenting on these videos. He is the best guy, and he has smart, quick, immediate answers because he's a genius, literally, and loves to be part of this. And he is part of this. You are part of this, Freddie, because you say, what if? Every chance Freddie gets. Good morning, Kelly. How lovely to see you. I will have an amazing day, and I want you to have an amazing day too, my darling. Now, Kelly, I was just telling them about the book launch that I'm going to do in November. And and you had so much fun at the last book launch. I want to make sure that you're going to come. So just be informed that that's going to be part of the conversation for a while now. It's going to be the weekend of November 16th. I still have to find the spot, but the plans are in the works. So put that in your calendar. All right. So I'm going to wrap up a little early today because there's stuff that needs to be doing. But I want you guys to pay attention because this is the hack. This is the simple win. Okay? I want you to get a piece of paper. And the reason I ask for a piece of paper is because there is something different about writing something down rather than keying it in or typing it in. It is from you onto another platform, but it is you personally. You can see it coming on the page, okay? To get a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. Draw a line at the top, and above the line at the top, you say, this is my choice. This is my choice. Okay? Piece of paper, line down the middle. This is my choice. On the left, underneath the line, write the thing. Sorry. This is my choice, colon, the thing, the event, the opportunity. This is my choice. For Freddie, it was SlimeCon. This is my choice, SlimeCon. On the left, underneath that line, what if? On the right of this line, underneath, if only. Okay? Whatever, this is my choice, put the thing, what if only. Underneath what if, you don't have to write many things. I would cap it at 5. Because when you start trying to make a long list, you stop doing the choice. What if? So the choice is the book. The choice is Unforgettable's book. What if Partner with Abby, picture in book, connected to everyone in the book, unforgettable souvenir this year. And all that has to happen, oh yeah, go to abbyhagyard.com, this just in, PayPal, $20. That's this. And then after that, November 16th. Okay, on this side, if only. And on this side, you write down what happens if you don't. Don't say yes. Don't choose a picture. Don't email me. Don't message me. Don't choose to find the $20. Don't put the date in the calendar and get ready to participate either in person or however it is we stream it. If only is I don't do it. I don't do it. I don't do it. I don't do it. Next page. Next thing. Every day, because we have a choice every day. This is my choice. Boop. Write a thing. What if only? What I am teaching you to do, what I am giving you the tool to do, is see your options. See what happens if you say yes. See what happens if you say no. See it. See it before you do it. I get this and this and this and this and this, or I don't. And those are all the things I don't get. Now, if all the things you get don't add up, then that's why you choose no. That's why you look back and say, if only. But it's a simple hack because we have to get stuff out of our heads. We have to see it on a piece of paper to understand what it is we're committing to, what it is we're leaning into. Yes, yeah. I can do that too, Freddie. You're brilliant. You're absolutely brilliant, Freddie. If I've got the lockers there and I can get Les's daughter there, we can celebrate Leslie. He can be our honorary guest. That's brilliant, Freddie. That is brilliant. You and I are going to talk. That is brilliant. In memoriam of Leslie. Absolutely. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Paul. How are you? I've been waiting to hear from you. I thought we were going to talk last week. Anyway, you see, do you see, Paul? You're watching this video. Do you see how quickly what if blossoms? Do you see that? The universe says, that's a plan. Let's go. And that's what we're going to do. Freddie, thanks to you. That is you know what that is, Freddie? Celebrating the life of Leslie at our event is going to be the sparkler on the cherry, on the icing, on the cake of our Unforgettables collectible book. And Freddie Moore thought of it. Isn't that amazing? I'm going to call Emily today. Won't she be surprised? I'm writing it down. All right, so here we go. What a day. Okay. The story is this. Every single day, there is an opportunity to seize it by the throat and run with it like the wind. Run like you stole it. Every day. Never not. I am living proof. Oh, Freddie, you know what? If it's a Leslie day, I'll bet you I can get Christine. And I'll bet you I can get Kevin. I might even be able to get Alistair and Lisa. Oh my. Oh my, Freddie, look what you've done. I'm on it. Woo! This is so exciting. All right, here we go. We have the opportunity every day to seize it by the throat and run with it like we stole it. Or look back and say, if only. Every day. And if we said if only yesterday, that's fine. Fresh day. Fresh day. We don't carry any of that. Now is the moment. So, having said that, I want you to think very clearly, very carefully about this opportunity to be part of something truly unforgettable. We're going to blow the socks off this thing. Let you know, Paul, I will absolutely. I got a thing to run around today to do, but I will this with you later this afternoon. Okay. All right. The drill, my darlings, is this. Be good to you. Always choose to be good to you. You deserve it. And remember to hug your loved ones every day. Even if it's virtual. They deserve it too. You are amazing. Without you, this wouldn't happen. Freddie, you are my genius. I'm going to talk to you about this, okay? Has to be later today. I got to run and do a couple of things, but oh my gosh, Freddie, you just blew this out of the park. It's incredible. We're going to talk about it. I promise you. Okay. With all of that said, none of this would be possible without you. We have all gone through this 373 times. Thee, will be back on Thursday with something else pretty amazing. In the meantime, thank you for watching.